Hey everyone, it's Lexi and today I'm going to share with you my top book series. Of course, no book series would be complete without the Harry Potter series. This is probably one of my all-time favorite series, and I'm sure everyone will know why. This is probably everyone's favorite series. And I love just how the books grow up with you. I think that was the one thing, as to how the first book kind of starts out as like a children's novel and how eventually it kind of grows darker. And I think the characters especially play such a big role in this because they are near and dear to our heart. And I love how like the themes within these novels are all universal. It doesn't matter where you're from, like what language you speak. Everyone can relate to different aspects of these books, and I think that's why these books are so special. The next book series that I like are the Rizzoli Isles series by Tess Gerritsen. These are like a murder mystery novel that deal with like a crime. So Jane Rizzoli is the detective and Mara Isles is the medical examiner, and this is also there's a TV show based off this. That's one of my favorite TV shows as well. It's very good, but the books are and the TV shows do diverge in some ways, and these books are very dark, but they do have humor spread throughout. And I think especially because the female characters in these books are working within a male-dominated field, I think it's good to see how they kind of deal with this, and it's good to see how they deal with like working with these men and how they kind of stand up to them. And these books are very dark, they're kind of spooky, but I highly recommend them. The Surgeon is very good, and the latest one came out in January of this year, and it was very good as well. So I highly recommend these series if you do kind of like the murder mystery crime novels. Another one of my favorite series is the Gemma Doyle Trilogy by Libbra Bray, and this is not along with the Rizzoli Isles series, this isn't one that I hear too much about on BookTube, and I read this during high school, and it's probably one of my favorite series that I read throughout high school. And this book is about a Gemma Doyle who lives in the 1800s in London, who is sent to boarding school, and she kind of discovers that she has like this power to kind of go into another world, and she ends up having to this other world is corrupt, and she needs to figure out how to save it. And I really highly recommend these books. It has another strong cast of female characters, as well as the Rizzoli Isles series, and they're an easy read, but they're very enjoyable. So I highly recommend these book series if you're kind of looking for a different type of fantasy. The next series that I haven't heard too much about on BookTube are the Gallagher Girls series. I read these since middle school, and I still read them now. They're about a girl who goes to a spy school, and her mother is like the headmistress of this, and like they talk about her, well, the first book talks about her adventures with her like friends, but eventually the series progresses into something deeper, and that's what I like about these books. Like they do tie into the last book of the series, but this is just kind of like a gentle opener into what the actual series is about. It's a good introduction, and like I said again, this book has a strong cast of female characters as well, and they're an easy read. It's like if you're looking for like a fun adventure book that is not a fantasy, then I highly recommend these series. Book series that I like to include are the Remnant Chronicles by Meyer and Pearson, and I read the first two books over the summer, and these have quickly become one of my favorite series of all time. This book follows a princess named Leia who doesn't want to be a princess. She doesn't want to marry into a marriage that she's been forced into. So she runs away with her friend, and a great deal of this book deals with like different perspectives. So we have Leia's perspective, and then we also have the prince's perspective and the assassin. So the assassin has been sent after her to kill her from another kingdom, while the prince is going after her to figure out why she left him. And so a great chunk of this book, you don't really know from the narratives, you don't know which character it is saying this, and I was super surprised as to who was the assassin and who was the the prince. The second book is even better, so if you're looking for kind of a fantasy novel with a very strong character who knows what she wants and is not afraid to stand up for what she believes in, then I highly recommend these series. Book series I'd like to include are the Lunar Chronicles, and I've only read the first book, but and I'm almost done with the second one. They're just a really good book series, and they're quite popular as well. I like the kind of futuristic aspect to them and kind of the sci-fi-ness to it, I guess. I do like the fairy tale retellings. I think like there's fairy tale tellings with like a twist to it, and I really enjoy that. Who doesn't like fairy tales? So if you kind of like fairy tale retellings, kind of future with strong characters, then I highly recommend these series. The series that I'd like to include are the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas, and I was late to the bandwagon for these books, and I can't believe I hold it off so long to read these. The books, I was initially worried with all the hype with this book, so I was a little worried about that, but this has quickly become one of my favorite series. It features a strong female character, which I just realized a lot of the books that I chose did, and it's just good. I think like they do have a strong cast of characters, and I like how we see the characters struggle in this, and I think that's good to see how much she develops and grows, and this is definitely a series that I highly recommend. So that's it, guys. Let me know in the comments below what series you think I should try out, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.